June 21, 2012. The Miami Heat had just won the NBA championship. Confetti was falling. LeBron James had his first ring. The cameras showed him crying tears of joy, holding the trophy, surrounded by teammates. But 2 hours later, after everyone left the locker room, LeBron sat alone in the shower, fully clothed, crying different tears. What happened in those 2 hours, and what Dwyane Wade walked in on, is a story that's been kept secret for over a decade. Until now. The American Airlines Arena was electric. 103-100. Miami Heat over Oklahoma City Thunder. Game 5. LeBron had just put up 26 points, 11 rebounds, 13 assists. Finals MVP, his first championship after 9 years in the league. After the decision, after all the hate, after all the pressure. LeBron, LeBron, the crowd chanted. He raised the Larry O'Brien trophy above his head, and the flash of cameras was blinding. ESPN was calling it redemption. Twitter was exploding. Even his haters had to admit he'd done it. Pat Riley grabbed his shoulder. "You're a champion now, LeBron. How does it feel?" "It feels." LeBron paused, searching for words. "It feels like I can finally breathe." But that wasn't true, and he knew it. But what LeBron whispered to himself in that moment would reveal a truth that haunted him throughout his entire Miami tenure. The celebration went on for hours. Champagne in the locker room, hugs from teammates, Chris Bosh screaming, Dwyane Wade dancing, Eric Spoelstra crying, Udonis Haslem leading chants, Mario Chalmers taking selfies with the trophy. LeBron smiled for every camera. He hugged every person. He said all the right things. "This is for Miami. This is for my teammates. This is for everyone who believed in me." But inside, something felt wrong. Around 2 a.m., the locker room started to empty. Players were heading to the club. The real party was just beginning. The city of Miami was going crazy outside. "Bron, you coming?" Wade asked, already changed into his club outfit. Yeah, give me 10 minutes, I'll meet you there," LeBron said. "Don't take too long, champ." Wade laughed and headed out. LeBron sat down on the bench in front of his locker. His Miami Heat Sex jersey was soaked with champagne and sweat. The championship hat sat crooked on his head. In his hands he held his phone. 47 missed calls, 216 text messages. Everyone wanted to congratulate him, but there was one name he was looking for in that sea of messages. He scrolled and scrolled and scrolled. It wasn't there. If this story is hitting home for you right now, if you've ever felt like you're chasing something that might not make you happy, you're not alone. Hit that subscribe button. Let's walk this journey together. The person who didn't call would make LeBron question everything he'd sacrificed to get to Miami. LeBron opened his texts and found the name, Mom. Their last conversation was from 3 days ago. Short, cold, "Good luck tomorrow." "Thanks, Mom." That was it. No "I love you," no "I'm proud of you." Just, "Good luck tomorrow." LeBron's finger hovered over her name. He wanted to call. He wanted to hear her say she was proud, that the championship meant something, that leaving Cleveland, the city that raised them, the city where she'd struggled to feed him, the city that felt like home, that it was all worth it for this moment. But he knew what she'd say. The same thing she'd been saying for 2 years. "You got your ring. Are you happy now?" The truth? He didn't know. LeBron stood up and walked to the shower area. The locker room was almost empty now, just some equipment guys cleaning up. He could still hear the celebration outside. Miami was going to party all night. He turned on the shower and sat down on the tile floor, fully clothed. The warm water mixed with the champagne and sweat, washing it all down the drain. And then LeBron started crying. Not tears of joy. These were different tears. Regret, loneliness, confusion. What LeBron was really crying about would expose the cost of greatness that nobody talks about. "Why doesn't it feel how I thought it would?" LeBron said out loud to no one. He'd imagined this moment for 9 years. His first championship. He thought winning would fix everything. The criticism would stop. The hate would disappear. He'd finally be validated. He'd finally be enough. But sitting there in that shower, all he could think about was what he'd lost to get here. Cleveland. The city that believed in him when he was nobody. The city he'd promised a championship. The fans who wore his jersey when he was just a high school kid. Dan Gilbert's letter calling him a traitor. The burned jerseys. The death threats. His mom's disappointed face when he told her about the decision. Baby, you don't understand what you're doing to those people. But Mom, I need to win. I need help. I can't do it alone in Cleveland. So you run away? Those words echoed in the shower. So you run away? He'd told himself it wasn't running. It was strategic. It was business. It was forming a super team. He, Wade, and Bosh, 3 superstars in their prime. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. He cringed remembering that rally. But LeBron's emotional breakdown was just beginning, because what happened next would change everything. The locker room door opened. LeBron quickly tried to wipe his face, but the shower water made it pointless. "Bron," it was Dwyane Wade's voice. "I'm good, D. Just cooling down, I'll be out in a minute." Footsteps came closer. Wade appeared around the corner and saw LeBron sitting in the shower, fully dressed, crying. "Bro, what's wrong? We just won the championship." LeBron looked up at his teammate, his friend, his brother. Wade's face showed genuine concern. "I don't know if I did the right thing," LeBron said quietly. Wade sat down on the floor outside the shower, not caring that his expensive outfit was getting wet from the spray. "Talk to me." Coming here, leaving Cleveland, the decision, all of it. LeBron's voice cracked. "I thought winning would make it worth it. I thought I'd feel different." Different how? Complete. Like I'd finally proved everyone wrong, like I'd finally be good enough. Wade was quiet for a moment. Then he said something that would stay with LeBron forever. "Bron, you're chasing something that doesn't exist." Wade's next words would force LeBron to confront a painful truth about why he really came to Miami. "You know what I realized when we won in '06? Wade continued. "The championship didn't change who I was. It didn't make my childhood better. It didn't fix my relationship with my dad. It didn't erase the pain. It just was. A great achievement. Yeah, but it wasn't magic." LeBron listened, water still streaming down his face. "You came to Miami thinking a ring would validate you," Wade said gently. "But you were already valid, bro. You're LeBron James. You were valid when you were carrying Cleveland on your back. You're still that same person. But everyone said I couldn't win. Everyone said I wasn't clutch. I wasn't a killer. I wasn't Jordan. And now you won. You think they're gonna stop? Bron, haters are gonna hate no matter what. You could win 10 rings and somebody will say they don't count because you had help." LeBron knew Wade was right. Even tonight, he'd already seen tweets. Needed Wade to win. Couldn't do it alone. Ring doesn't count. Super team. "So what do I do?" LeBron asked. Vergron asked to blow him off, or Raj LeBron say, "Stop playing for them. Stop playing to prove something. Start playing because you love it, and stop running from your home." Wade's mention of home would unlock a confession that explained everything about LeBron's decision to leave Cleveland. "You want to know the real reason I left Cleveland?" LeBron said after a long silence. Wade just nodded. "I was scared," LeBron admitted, "scared of being the greatest player to never win a championship, scared of letting down an entire city, scared of carrying that pressure alone until I retired, scared of becoming the next Karl Malone or Charles Barkley. Great players, no rings." "So you came somewhere where the pressure was split," Wade said, understanding. "Exactly. Here, if we lose, it's on all of us. In Cleveland, it was all on me. Every single loss, every playoff exit, every disappointed face in the crowd, all on me." LeBron turned off the shower and just sat there in wet clothes. "But you know what's crazy, Dwyane? I still feel that pressure. Maybe even more. Because now if I don't win multiple championships here, everyone will say the decision was a failure. So I ran away from pressure and created even more pressure." Wade stood up and extended his hand to LeBron. "Come on, champ. Get up." LeBron took his hand and stood. "You did what you thought was right at the time," Wade said. "Nobody can fault you for that. But I'm going to tell you something and I need you to hear it. You're going to go back to Cleveland one day. You're going to finish what you started. And when you win a championship there, not if, when, that's the one that's going to mean something. That's the one that's going to heal this." LeBron's response to Wade would foreshadow a decision that wouldn't come for 2 more years. "I can't go back," LeBron said. They hate me there. They burned my jerseys. Dan Gilbert called me a coward. The entire city thinks I betrayed them. And you're going to prove them wrong by proving them right. That you're loyal. That you keep your promises. That you're not a villain. You're a hero who took the long way home. LeBron smiled sadly. You're telling me to leave Miami? I'm telling you that your story isn't finished. Miami is a chapter, a great chapter. We're going to win more championships, but your book ends in Cleveland, Bron. You know it. I know it. Everyone knows it. They stood there in the quiet locker room. Outside, Miami was celebrating. Inside, LeBron was processing a truth he wasn't ready to face yet. Not yet, LeBron said. I'm not ready yet. I know, but one day you will be. And when that day comes, I'll understand. We all will. Wade pulled LeBron into a hug, not caring about the wet clothes. Tonight, we celebrate. Tomorrow, we deal with everything else. But right now, in this moment, just let yourself be happy. You earned this. But LeBron's happiness would be short-lived because what happened 3 hours later would change his entire perspective. LeBron finally changed clothes and headed to the club around 3 a.m. The place was packed, Heat fans everywhere. His teammates were on tables, champagne flowing, music blasting. Someone handed him a bottle. Someone else put a championship hat on his head. He forced himself to smile, to dance, to celebrate. His phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number. He almost ignored it, but something made him open it. The message said, "I'm proud of you, son. You did what you had to do. Love, Mom." LeBron stopped moving. People were celebrating around him, but he'd gone still. He read the message 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. His mother had never called him from an unknown number. He called her immediately. "Mom." "Hey, baby." Her voice was soft, warm, like it used to be before the decision. "Is this really you? Why are you calling from a different number?" "My phone died, and I'm at a friend's house. I wanted to make sure I told you tonight. Couldn't wait till morning." LeBron walked outside the club where it was quieter. Miami's streets were still full of celebrating fans. "Told me what?" "That I was wrong," Gloria said, and LeBron could hear she was crying. "I was angry at you for leaving Cleveland, but I watched you tonight. I saw the weight lift off your shoulders when you won. I realized I was putting my dreams for you above your happiness." Gloria's next confession would reveal something about LeBron's childhood that explained his entire career. "You want to know why I was really mad?" Gloria continued. "It wasn't about Cleveland. It was about me." "What do you mean?" "When you were little, and we were struggling, living in different apartments, sometimes homeless, I would tell you stories, remember? I'd say one day, you're going to be so successful that you'll save this city. You're going to be Cleveland's hero. You're going to show everyone that kids from here can make it." LeBron remembered. Those stories were what kept him going through the hardest times. "I built this narrative in my head," Gloria said, "that your success was Cleveland's success, that you winning a championship in Cleveland would validate everything we went through. All the hard times, all the struggle. It would all mean something if you brought a championship home." "Mom." "But baby, that was my dream, not yours. I put that weight on you without realizing it, and when you left, I felt like you were abandoning that dream, but it wasn't your dream to carry, it was mine." LeBron felt tears coming again, but different tears than in the shower. "You don't owe Cleveland anything," Gloria said. "You don't owe me anything. You did your part. You gave them everything for 7 years. If winning in Miami makes you happy, then I'm happy." "But I do owe Cleveland something," LeBron said quietly. "Wade was right. My story isn't finished there." "Maybe not, but that's your choice to make. Not mine, not Cleveland's, not anyone's but yours. And whenever you make that choice, I'll support you." LeBron's response would hint at a promise he'd keep. 4 years later, "I'm going to go back," LeBron said, surprising himself with the certainty in his voice. "Not now, but eventually. I need to finish what I started. Then you will. But for tonight, enjoy this. You earned it." They talked for 20 more minutes. About everything. About nothing. Like they used to before basketball became bigger than both of them. When LeBron hung up, he looked at the Miami skyline, the city that had given him his first championship, the city where he'd formed a brotherhood with Wade and Bosh, the city that had welcomed him when the rest of the country hated him. He loved Miami, but Wade was right. This wasn't home. Home was Cleveland. With all its pain and pressure and complexity, home was the place that raised him, the place that believed in him first, the place where his story started. And his story needed to end there too. But what LeBron didn't know was that the Miami Heat locker room had one more secret to reveal. LeBron walked back into the club. The party was still going strong at 4 a.m. He found Wade and Bosh together, and they were laughing about something. "There he is," Bosh yelled. "Where'd you go, man?" "Talk to my mom," LeBron said, sitting down with them. "Everything good?" Wade asked, knowing there was more to the story. "Yeah, everything's good." The three of them sat there, championship bottles in hand, watching their teammates celebrate. "Can I tell you guys something?" Bosh said, suddenly serious. "What's up?" LeBron asked. "I knew we were going to win the championship tonight." "How?" Wade laughed. "Game 5 was close as hell. Because I walked into the locker room before the game, and I saw something I'd never seen before," Bosh said. "What?" LeBron was standing in front of the mirror, looking at himself in his Heat jersey, and he was crying, not sad crying, determined crying. And he said to his reflection, "This is it. This is the night everything changes." LeBron didn't remember that moment, but hearing Bosh describe it made him realize something. "You know what I was really thinking?" LeBron said. "I was thinking, win or lose tonight, I'm going to be okay, because I finally understand that basketball doesn't define me. It's what I do, not who I am." The conversation that followed would become legendary among the Miami Heat Big Three and change how all three of them viewed success. "That's deep, bro," Wade said. "But I gotta push back on something." "What?" "Basketball does define us. Not in a bad way. In the way that Michael Jordan was defined by basketball. Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, the greats. They didn't separate themselves from the game. They became the game. But that's exactly what I'm trying not to do," LeBron said. "I don't want to be so consumed by basketball that I lose myself." "You won't," Bosh interjected. "Because you're more than just a basketball player. You're a father, a husband, a businessman, an activist. Basketball is just one piece of who you are. But it's the biggest piece," Wade added. "And there's nothing wrong with that. The key is not letting the wins and losses dictate your worth." LeBron thought about that. "So how do I do that?" "You already did," Wade said. "Tonight in that shower, when you broke down, you were letting go of all the bullshit, all the expectations, all the pressure to be perfect. You were just human. And being human is what makes you great," Bosh said. "Not the stats, not the championships. The fact that you care so much that it hurts, that's what separates you from everyone else." The three of them sat in silence for a moment, letting that sink in. But LeBron was about to make a confession that neither Wade nor Bosh saw coming. "I'm scared," LeBron said suddenly. "Of what?" Wade asked. "That this won't be enough. That we'll win 2 championships, maybe 3, and people will still find reasons to tear me down. That I'll go back to Cleveland eventually, win there, and they'll say it was too late. That I'll retire with 4, 5, 6 rings, and people will still say I'm not as good as Jordan. That no matter what I do, it'll never be enough." Wade and Bosh looked at each other, then back at LeBron. "You're right," Wade said bluntly. "It won't be enough. For some people, nothing you do will ever be enough." LeBron's face fell. "But here's the thing," Wade continued. "Those people don't matter. The people who matter. Your family, your real friends, your teammates, the kids who look up to you. We already know you're enough. You've always been enough. And 10 years from now," Bosh added, 20 years from now, when we're all retired and looking back, you know what you're going to remember about tonight?" "What?" "Not the stats, not the trophy. This conversation. This moment right here with your brothers. That's what championship memories are really made of." LeBron realized they were right. The locker room breakdown, the conversation with Wade in the shower, the phone call with his mom, and now this moment with his teammates. These were the real victories. The night was almost over, but LeBron had one final realization that would shape the rest of his career. As the sun started coming up over Miami at 6 a.m., the three of them were still in the club, now mostly empty except for stragglers and cleaning crew. "You know what's crazy?" LeBron said. "I spent so much time worrying about my legacy, about how history would remember me, that I forgot to enjoy the journey." "So what are you going to do different?" Wade asked. "I'm going to be present. I'm going to appreciate every moment, even the hard ones. I'm going to stop chasing validation and start chasing excellence for its own sake. And most importantly," "What?" "I'm going to stop running from pressure and start embracing it. Because pressure is what makes us great." Wade smiled. "That's the LeBron I know." And LeBron continued, "When the time is right, I'm going back to Cleveland. I'm going to face that pressure head on. I'm going to do what I was always meant to do, bring a championship home." "How long you think you'll stay in Miami?" Bosh asked. LeBron thought about it. 2 more years, maybe 3. Long enough to win another championship or 2, long enough to enjoy this brotherhood we've built. But then I go home." "We'll miss you," Wade said. "But we'll understand. Some stories need proper endings." 4 years later, LeBron would keep that promise. But what happened in Miami before he left would change all of them forever. The Miami Heat would go on to win another championship in 2013. LeBron would win his second Finals MVP. The Big Three would become legendary, but that night in the locker room, sitting in that shower, crying tears that nobody saw, that was the real turning point. That was the night LeBron James stopped trying to be perfect and started trying to be authentic. That was the night he realized that running away from pressure doesn't make it disappear, it just delays the inevitable. That was the night he understood that his relationship with Cleveland wasn't finished. It was just on pause. And most importantly, that was the night he learned that championships don't define you, how you handle the journey to get them does. In 2014, after winning his second Miami championship, LeBron would write an essay titled, "I'm Coming Home." He'd return to Cleveland, he'd face all the hate again, he'd carry an impossible burden, and in 2016, he'd deliver the impossible, a championship to Cleveland, ending a 52-year drought, coming back from 3-1 down in the finals against the greatest regular season team ever. But none of that would have been possible without June 21, 2012. Without that breakdown in the shower. Without Wade sitting with him. Without his mom's phone call. Without realizing that running away was never the answer. This story is fictionalized, but it captures a truth about LeBron's Miami years. The decision was controversial. The pressure was enormous. And somewhere between the hate and the championships, LeBron had to figure out who he really was. The real LeBron did return to Cleveland in 2014. He did win that impossible championship in 2016. And he did become more than just a basketball player. He became an icon who showed that it's okay to make mistakes, to grow, to go home. Miami gave LeBron his first championships, but Cleveland gave him his legacy. And sometimes, you have to leave home to appreciate what you had. You have to win somewhere else to understand what winning at home really means. That's the real lesson from LeBron's Miami years. Not the rings, not the stats. The journey of becoming who you're meant to be. If you're reading this and you've ever felt like you made the wrong choice, like you ran from something important, like you need to go back and finish what you started, LeBron's story is for you. It's never too late to go home. It's never too late to face what you were afraid of. It's never too late to complete your story. LeBron proved that, and so can you.